Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today's Friday, July 18, 2025. And a Friday in the summer, so we're going to go over a few things quickly and then call it a day. So, in general, the market has been on a tear. We've been talking about it since the April lows, what a historic move it's been for the stock market. The bond market's somewhat behaving as well. Cryptos, record levels, gold. And but a couple of points that I want to make is that, while this can continue to go on, the risks are there that, it's probably going to end. And, we should, as investors, think about how to prepare for a change of this trend and a correction or even a somewhat more of an extended sell-off, given again the valuations and the concentration of the stock market. First of all, one of the measures I came across is that technology ETFs, and there's a bunch of them, the technology exchange traded funds now comprise 42% of the assets under management, the AUM of the total market, and that's a record level. So, not only are people buying stocks, but they're really focused and concentrated in technology. And certainly technology is an important part of our daily lives, and the businesses can be very successful. But, what's going on here within the stock market is getting extended. And, there's the debate about whether the AI bubble is bigger and worse and than the dot-com bubble. And the dot-com bubble, if you don't remember, ended very badly. The NASDAQ lost a lot of money. Companies went bankrupt. And again, it was a bad situation. So again, not to predict it's going to happen, but the risks are there and there are some similarities. Next, just again, touching on crypto. Bitcoin's been up. We've been talking a little bit about that, but Ethereum has been on a run, on a tear here in July, and I guess it's a short squeeze. I didn't realize you could short Ethereum or even cryptos. Maybe it's tied to an ETF, but that's part of what I'm hearing and reading about what's going on with with Ethereum specifically. And then finally, just as a point of reference, while the S&P and NASDAQ and making records, again it's very concentrated in that the top stocks are leading the way. And another way to measure this is what is called the equal weighted S&P 500. In other words, all 500 companies in the S&P 500 have an equal weighting. Well, that index is nowhere near the November 24 all-time high. Yet the S&P 500, which is market cap weighted, in other words, the larger companies have more of an impact and influence on the index, has been making all-time highs because, again, the Nvidias and the Apples and the Microsofts and the Facebooks have been driving the market in the top 10. It's like what, over 30% of the S&P 500 now. So, but the market's going well, and we'll take it while we got it. Have a good weekend. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll be back on Monday. Thank you again. Goodbye.